the British Challenger 2, the American M1 Abrams, the French Leclerc, and German Leopard 2. Each is a marvel of military design, combining its own unique weaponry, exotic armor, and sophisticated command and control systems. They've never faced each other in combat. If they did, it would surely be a formidable fight. From Britain, the Challenger 2, a highly reliable and extremely capable heavy tank. The Challenger 2 is the latest main battle tank produced by the pioneers of tank design. The British Army first introduced tanks to the battlefield in 1916 and have played an important role in their development ever since. The Challenger traces its heritage back to Britain's Chieftain tank. When the Chieftain entered service in 1966, it was the most heavily armored of all main battle tanks. With an emphasis on armored protection, the Chieftain's turret was carefully contoured to optimize the thick steel of its armor. The Chieftain balanced its superb protection with a powerful 120mm gun, much larger than the 105mm guns common to most tanks of the 1960s and 70s. But thick steel armor makes tanks heavy and slow, and the Chieftain was guilty on both counts. Britain needed a faster, more sophisticated tank. During the 1970s, under the codename Burlington, British designers developed a radical new type of tank armor. This complex composite armor became known as Chobham armor, named after the city in which it was developed. How it works and what exactly it's made from remain top secret, but it is highly effective. Most experts believe the armor consists of complex layers of metal and advanced ceramics. When the Challenger 1 appeared in the 1980s, it was the first British tank to incorporate this highly effective protection. Chobham armor made the Challenger nearly invulnerable to frontal attack from deadly high-explosive anti-tank or heat rounds. Besides its enhanced protection, the Challenger was more mobile than the Chieftain. A 1,200 horsepower diesel engine and advanced suspension system gave the tank a top speed of 35 miles per hour and a smooth ride despite obstructions and rough terrain. One of the most important advances in tank design in the 1980s was in gunfire controls, which permitted the tank to fire on the move. The heavily armored turret of the Challenger weighs 20 tons, yet it must be moved with extreme precision to hit targets a mile or more away. In 1994, the Challenger 2 entered service in the British Army. The Challenger 2 has over 150 improvements to its predecessor, the Challenger 1, and many entirely new features, such as its turret design. The Challenger 2 has even more sophisticated fire controls than its forerunner. A digital fire control computer controls the commander's sight, the laser rangefinder, and thermal imaging system for unprecedented accuracy. The Challenger 2's stabilized 120mm gun can fire a wide variety of munitions. Britain's strong traditions in tank design have led to critical technological breakthroughs, like Chobham armor and the formidable Challenger 2, one of only a handful of modern tanks that can truly dominate a battlefield. Across the hot, dusty prairies of Texas, the U.S. Army wages mock combat in one of the world's most formidable tanks, the M1 Abrams, named after the legendary General Creighton Abrams. General Abrams is known for his hard-charging leadership of the 37th Tank Battalion during World War II. Today, American tanks are much more powerful, better protected, and much faster than the Sherman tanks that Abrams commanded. The Sherman was armed with a rifled 75mm gun, with just 1/3 the force of the 120 gun found on the M1 Abrams. The Abrams' advanced composite armor provides 12 times greater protection than the Sherman's mere 2 inches of steel armor plating. At 25 miles per hour on roads, the Sherman was fast for its day. But the Abrams can travel nearly twice as fast, even in rough terrain. A 1,500 horsepower gas turbine engine, similar to those used by attack helicopters, provides the muscle.
The increased speed causes you to be able to do a lot more things than you normally could with the slower M60 series. And plus it opens up some terrain to you that you can use as high-speed avenues of approach, which you didn't have before.
Development of the Abrams began in the early 1970s to replace the M60 Patton. Newly developed guided anti-tank missiles made protection a major priority in the Abrams design. Advanced composite armor, similar to Britain's Chobham armor, was used to counter the missile threat and gives the Abrams its distinct slab-sided appearance. While crew survivability was at the center of the Abrams design, additional attention was put toward making the tank more fightable. Thus, the other key aspect of the M1's design was its weapons system. Previous generations of tanks had to stop to fire, while the Abrams and other modern tanks can fire on the move. The computer-controlled stabilization system keeps the gun aimed at the same point, no matter how much the tank is jostled around by the rough terrain.
The M1 is really effective with the stabilization system, which is built in, whereas on the old tanks it took a lot of short halts where you stop and move, you stop and move. Of course, with the M1 you can continue to ride anywhere from 30 to 35 miles per hour and fire and get a first round hit.
Several systems are employed to ensure the accuracy of the gun. A muzzle reference system measures barrel warp caused by the heat of repeated firings. A wind sensor checks for crosswinds that would cause a round to go astray. And a laser rangefinder precisely measures the distance to within inches of the target. The fire control computer combines data from these systems to compute a real-time firing solution that is highly accurate even at ranges greater than 1 mile.
The speeds of kills on a modern battlefield are going to be totally different than they used to be, where you would shoot multiple times and not get hits. And nowadays, you have over a 90% probability of hit even while moving.
Modern electronic systems simplify the work of the tank crew. But to survive in today's fast-paced battles, tankers must hit their targets much faster and with greater accuracy than ever before. Training stresses the need for both speed and accuracy.
The target will come up and stay exposed, depending what type of engagement it is, anywhere from 40 to 50 seconds. And then they will be expected to kill it within 12 seconds. They have about 5 seconds reload time for the crew in case they have to fire a second round. But normally we get them on the first round.
The Abrams gun sight employs a thermal imager, able to sense the minute temperature differences between man-made objects like tanks and the natural environment. This